Hey there. I've always been curious about Quebec, and one question that's been on my mind is, what language is spoken in Quebec? Hi, that's a great question, and it's one that often sparks a lot of discussion. In Quebec, the primary languages spoken are French and English. However, French is the official language of the province, and it holds a unique status compared to the rest of Canada.
That's interesting. So, French is the official language of Quebec, but what does that mean in practice? Are there any specific language laws or regulations in place?
Yes, indeed. Quebec has its own language laws, which are quite distinct from the rest of Canada. The most notable of these is the Charter of the French Language, commonly known as Bill 101. It was introduced in 1977 and aims to protect and promote the French language in Quebec. This law mandates that French be the language of work, education, and government services in the province.
Wow, that sounds pretty comprehensive. Does this mean that everyone in Quebec speaks French, or is there still a significant English-speaking population?
While French is the dominant language in Quebec, there is still a sizable English-speaking population. Many Quebecers are bilingual, and English is widely spoken in major cities like Montreal, especially in the business and tourism sectors. However, the government's language policies are designed to maintain and promote the use of French, so there have been efforts to encourage businesses and institutions to operate primarily in French.
I see. So, what about education? Are schools in Quebec primarily French-speaking, or are there English-language schools as well?
In Quebec, the education system is quite unique compared to the rest of Canada. The majority of public schools are French-language schools, and students are generally educated in French from an early age. However, there are also English-language schools in the province, primarily for the English-speaking minority. These schools are subject to certain regulations to ensure the promotion of the French language. Additionally, Quebec has its own Ministry of Education that oversees these matters.
It's fascinating how Quebec has taken steps to preserve its French language and culture. Are there any specific areas within Quebec where English is more commonly spoken, or is the use of French fairly consistent throughout the province?
There are some regional variations in language use within Quebec. In urban areas like Montreal and Quebec City, you'll find a significant English-speaking population, and it's relatively easy to get by in English, especially in the service industry. However, in more rural areas, you're more likely to encounter primarily French-speaking communities, and English proficiency may be lower. That being said, the overall trend in Quebec is towards bilingualism, as many residents, regardless of their first language, are fluent in both French and English to some degree.
It's interesting to hear about the bilingualism in Quebec. How do Quebecers generally feel about these language policies? Are they widely accepted, or is there some controversy surrounding them?
The language policies in Quebec have been a topic of debate and controversy for many years. There are varying opinions among Quebecers. Some see these policies as necessary to protect and promote the French language and culture, while others view them as restrictive and even divisive. It's not uncommon to see protests and legal challenges related to language issues in the province. However, it's important to note that these policies are reflective of Quebec's unique cultural and historical context, which sets it apart from the rest of Canada.
That's understandable. I imagine that the historical context plays a significant role in shaping Quebec's language policies. Are there any other notable aspects of language and culture in Quebec that you think are worth mentioning?
Absolutely! Quebec has a rich cultural heritage, and its distinct French-Canadian identity is celebrated through various cultural events, festivals, and traditions. The arts, including literature, music, and cinema, have a strong presence in Quebec and often emphasize the French language. The province is known for its vibrant art scene and contributions to Canadian culture as a whole.
It's great to hear that Quebec has such a vibrant cultural scene. I've always wanted to visit. In terms of travel, would I need to speak French to get around comfortably, or is it possible to manage with just English?
You can certainly manage with just English, especially in major cities like Montreal. Many Quebecers are bilingual, and in tourist areas, you'll often find service providers who speak English. However, it's always a good idea to have some basic French phrases and etiquette under your belt. It can go a long way in showing respect for the local culture and making your experience more enjoyable.
That's good to know. I'll make sure to brush up on some French phrases before I plan my visit. Thanks for all the insights into Quebec's language and culture. It's been a fascinating discussion.
You're very welcome. I'm glad I could provide you with some information. Quebec is a unique and beautiful place with a lot to offer, so I'm sure you'll have a fantastic time when you visit. If you have any more questions, feel free to ask.